Have you ever noticed how often people shrink themselves just to keep the peace? You start speaking and someone slices right through your sentence. It's small, almost forgettable, but every never mind or quiet sorry isn't humility, it's self-erasure. And the world learns from your silence exactly how much your voice is worth. I've seen it in boardrooms, family dinners, even between people who love each other. That split second where you surrender the floor, it's not just interruption, it's instruction. You're teaching others that your thoughts can wait. The Stoics faced this same test, centuries before our meetings had microphones or cameras. They called it guarding the essential. Marcus Aurelius wrote to himself each morning, "Don't hand your mind to the noise around you. Your words, your tone, your stillness, these are not ornaments. They're instruments of presence." So tonight, this isn't about etiquette or speaking tricks. This is about dignity, about learning to hold your space without aggression. Because in a world that rewards noise, the rarest power is composure. We'll explore 3 Stoic words that quietly command respect: no shouting, no ego, no performance. Words that reset chaos into clarity. Ask yourself, when someone interrupts you, are you protecting peace or avoiding yourself? The answer will define not just how you speak, but who you become. Stay till the end, because by the time this is over, you won't need to ask for attention again. You'll earn it through calm authority. Let's start where every empire, inner or outer, begins, with language. Words don't just communicate, they construct. Empires fell and rose not from swords, but from sentences spoken at the right time. A promise could ignite loyalty. A command could halt chaos. Even silence, when chosen well, could restore order. Seneca wrote to Lucilius, "Speech that is measured and calm strikes deeper than the loudest voice." He wasn't glorifying quietness, he was warning against waste. Because once you lose control of your words, you lose the shape of your influence. Fast forward to today. Power doesn't sit on thrones, it sits in tone. In meetings, negotiations, or relationships, authority belongs to the person who can hold calm when others rush to fill the air. But most people do the opposite. We hand over control with phrases like, "Sorry, go ahead," or by fading into polite invisibility. We confuse niceness with nobility, forgetting that constant apology is not grace, it's surrender. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "Waste no energy on what doesn't strengthen the soul." Your voice is that energy. And every time you dilute it with fear or over-explanation, you train others to treat your presence as optional. So the next time someone cuts you off, don't see it as an insult, see it as training. A chance to practice composure, to anchor your presence, and to remind yourself, you are not fighting for attention, you are embodying self-respect. And when you speak from stillness, the world doesn't just hear you, it feels you. Now that we've reclaimed the power of presence, let's uncover the first word that instantly brings any room back to center. When the world gets noisy, the strongest voice is often the calmest one. Most people believe control means speaking more, but real control begins the moment you reclaim silence. Listen isn't a command, it's an anchor. When you say it not in anger, but in grounded confidence, you change the energy in the room. You remind people that this conversation has a center and you are it. Picture this, a team meeting spinning in 10 directions at once, people talking over each other, defending points no one's really hearing. You don't need to raise your tone, you simply wait for the noise to peak, breathe slowly, and say, "Listen, there's one thing we can't miss here." In that instant, heads turn. Not because you force them, but because human attention is wired to follow gravity, and composure is gravity. Listen resets rhythm. It doesn't beg, it guides. Even at home, when your partner cuts in halfway through a thought, you don't retreat into silence or guilt. You lean in slightly, hold steady eye contact, and say, "Listen, I want to finish this thought before it disappears." You're not defending your ego. You're defending connection. That's the Stoic practice in action. Calm, before reaction. Marcus Aurelius didn't need to shout commands. His stillness carried more influence than another man's fury. So next time you're interrupted, don't collapse, don't withdraw, pause, ground yourself, and use that one word, listen. Not to fight for control, but to remind everyone that clarity has just entered the room. Because authority isn't volume, it's presence. And when you speak from presence, even silence starts to listen. Now that attention is yours, the next challenge is to direct it by showing people what truly matters. Let's talk about the second word, important. People don't interrupt what they believe matters. The secret isn't to demand space, it's to define it. And nothing defines it faster than the word important. When you use it, you're not bragging. You're signaling priority. The human brain is designed to respond to hierarchy it needs, to know what comes first. And when you calmly say, the important thing is this, you're giving the conversation structure. You're teaching the room what deserves focus. In a work setting, that could sound like, the important issue isn't the numbers, it's why they changed. Suddenly, everyone realigns. You didn't fight for control, you assigned it. At home, the same applies. Someone cuts you off mid-sentence, and instead of shutting down, you breathe and say, what's important here is that I finish this thought so we don't misunderstand each other. It's not confrontation, it's direction. Marcus Aurelius once wrote that discipline creates clarity where chaos once ruled. That's what this word does. It disciplines attention. Psychologists now call this attention tagging. When you label something as important, the brain automatically moves it up the queue. Here's how to practice it. Pair important with specific meaning. The important risk is the one we're not discussing. The important detail changes everything about this plan. The important truth here is how we respond, not who's right. Each one delivers weight, not noise. Say it once, say it slowly, then let the silence after it do the persuading. Because leadership isn't about who talks most, it's about who defines what matters. And when you start labeling what's essential, you stop chasing attention. You own it. Once people know what's important, there's one more step to make it matter now. Let's explore the word that anchors every moment in presence. We waste more strength waiting than doing. Everyone says, I'll handle it later. But later is a soft word. It lets you escape without guilt. Now doesn't. Now demands presence. When you say now, you're not rushing. You're calling reality back into the room. You're saying, this moment matters more than my excuses. Picture a conversation losing focus. People talking circles, chasing ideas that don't connect. You pause, breathe once and say, now let's get back to the core issue. It's not forceful, it's grounding. The noise falls away because you just gave time a direction. The Stoics lived inside this truth. Seneca warned that most of life slips through our fingers while we're waiting for it to begin. And Zeno, the founder of Stoicism, told his students, wisdom is practiced in the breath you're living, not the one you plan. Now is that breath. It's not a word, it's an anchor. At work, say it to reset a room. Now, here's what affects today's outcome. At home, use it to calm emotion. Now, let's finish this thought before we judge it. Each time, you're teaching your mind and everyone around you that presence isn't noise, it's leadership. So when your thoughts drift or someone interrupts, remember this. You don't lose control because they spoke. You lose it when you leave the moment. Return to now, because no lesson, no power, no peace exists anywhere else. The future never begins later. It begins the moment you act now. Every time you say sorry when you've done nothing wrong, you're not soft, you're vanishing. We were taught that apology equals kindness, but kindness without boundaries turns into self-erasure. You're in mid-sentence, someone interrupts, and before you even process it, out comes, sorry, go ahead. That single reflex flips the power in the room. In that moment, you're not acknowledging someone else's turn. You're asking permission to exist, You've just told the world your thoughts are optional. Epictetus warned, "No one can diminish you without your consent." And each unnecessary apology is exactly that, a quiet consent slip signed with fear. Think about it. In a meeting, you say, "Sorry," and your idea disappears before it's even heard. At home, you whisper, "Sorry," for expressing a feeling, and suddenly your needs feel like an inconvenience. Over time, this becomes muscle memory, your instinct to shrink before anyone asks you to. But calm authority isn't arrogance, Seneca said. Brevity persuades more deeply than anger. The goal isn't aggression, it's presence. You can be gentle and still grounded. You can respect others without surrendering yourself. So next time sorry climbs up your throat, stop. Ask yourself, am I being polite or am I disappearing? Because there's a thin line between humility and self-erasure. And once you cross it, people stop listening not out of cruelty, but habit. Stop apologizing for existing. You don't need permission to take up space. You need purpose to fill it. You don't need to raise your voice to reclaim your power. You just need to continue your truth. That's what these 3 words do. Listen, there's more. They don't challenge. They clarify. They don't demand space. They define it. Most people use sorry as a reflex to avoid discomfort. But discomfort isn't the enemy. Disconnection is. Listen, there's more. Reconnects what interruption breaks. It tells the room your thought isn't finished. That meaning still lives in the next sentence. Picture this. You're in a meeting, explaining a crucial point, and someone cuts in. Instead of retreating, you breathe once, shoulders steady, eyes soft, and say, "Listen, there's more. This next part explains why the risk matters." You didn't push back. You pulled focus. At home, the same applies. Your partner interrupts without realizing. Instead of fading into politeness, you smile and say, "Listen, there's more. I need to finish this so you understand what I meant." The tension diffuses. Respect stays intact. This isn't performance, it's discipline of speech, a Stoic virtue Epictetus lived by. He taught that silence is not withdrawal, it's control. And mastery of silence means knowing where to place it. Listen, there's more. Does exactly that. It places silence on their side, not yours. Why it works is simple. Human brains crave completion. When you say, "There's more," you trigger curiosity, an open loop that draws attention back to you. You're not fighting for space. You're offering continuity. Practice this in 3 small steps. 1 heartbeat of silence commands more presence than 10 words of defense. Say calmly, "Listen, there's more." Plus a clear reason, because it connects to the main decision. Is 7th, finish your thought in 1 grounded line. No friction, no force, just composure that bends noise back into attention. You don't need permission to complete a truth. Use "listen, there's more" to turn interruption into invitation, firm, calm, and undeniable. You don't demand respect, you embody it. And the way you speak is how the world learns who you are. The Stoics understood that words aren't ornaments, they're mirrors. Epictetus said, "Discipline in speech reflects discipline in thought." Every sentence you choose, every silence you hold, reveals the architecture of your mind. Seneca reminded us that brevity carries more force than shouting, and Marcus Aurelius warned, "Waste no words on what is unnecessary." Together, they built the foundation of calm authority. Say less, mean more. Think of your daily conversations as reflections of your character. Listen commands attention without aggression. Important defines direction without control. Now, grounds presence without pressure. And listen, there's more preserves your voice without hostility. You're not manipulating attention. You're mastering alignment. Because every time you replace sorry with "listen, there's more," you stop seeking permission to exist. You begin to lead. That's not dominance, it's integrity in motion. In a noisy world obsessed with being heard, the Stoic learns a different art. To speak with weight, not volume. To choose silence, not surrender. To use words as bridges, not weapons. Your voice is not just sound, it's your signature. When your tone carries clarity and respect, even silence starts to echo it. Practice these words until they become part of your inner rhythm. Because when your speech aligns with your character, you don't need to ask for authority, you radiate it. And that's where true Stoic power begins. Not in how loud you sound, but in how deeply your presence resonates. You don't need a louder voice, you need a steadier center. If there's one lesson you take with you tonight, let it be this. Authority isn't a trick of tone, it's a habit of character. We started with a familiar sting being cut off mid-sentence by people who matter. We answered it with 3 quiet moves that change everything. Listen to gather attention. Important to give it direction. Now to make it real. That isn't performance, that's self-respect made audible. So picture tomorrow. The meeting drifts. You breathe, shoulders loose, jaw unclenched. Listen, here's the center we lost. What's important is this. Now, the next step. Or at home, when patterns collide and feelings swell. Listen, there's more. Let me finish so we hear each other. What's important is understanding. Now give me 30 seconds. No edge, no drama, just gravity. The less you chase control, the more your presence sets the room. Here's your 7-day practice to make this muscle real. Day 1. 2. Listen. Use it once a day to reset a moment without raising your voice. Day 3, 4. Important. Label the signal, not the noise. Be specific. Day 5, 6. Now. Anchor action in the present. Keep it under 12 words. Day 7. Bridge. Listen. There's more. Plus 1 clear sentence that lands your point. Track 2 things only. Did I stay composed? Did I finish the thought? If you did, you practiced leadership, no title required. If this resonates, join us at Modern Stoic Notes. Subscribe and train with a community that builds calm, the way athletes build strength, daily, lightly, consistently. Because respect isn't something you chase down a hallway, it's something you carry across the threshold. Speak from the center and watch the room come to you. Transforming takeaway. The world doesn't need more volume. It needs your clarity. Guard the essential. Lead with quiet. Begin now. Next episode, we'll turn these lines into micro habits you can track in 5 minutes a day, so calm authority becomes second nature.